Hey everybody, I hope you all are doing well and welcome back to Michael's Matters. And this week we are doing our COLA or Cost of Living Adjustment December 2023 update because the new inflation numbers just came out, and for folks who are about to get one of the largest boosts in COLA over the last 40 years, that is those Americans who are on Social Security programs, so programs like Social Security Retirement, Social Security Disability SSDI, Supplemental Security Income SSI, as well as VA and Railroad Retirement. Those are all positive signs for the economy and specifically for them. What this means is more purchasing power now, benefits that beat inflation in the near future, and also clues as to what the COLA could be in the medium range. I'm talking about 2024. So today, we are talking about the new inflation numbers, what that means for people on Social Security benefits right now, what it could mean for the COLA moving forward, and what it could mean for folks on Social Security benefits in 2023. Now, before we get to it, though, if you like these videos, if you find them interesting, if you find them helpful, if you at least find them useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way, you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. All right, now, let's get down to the video. So first things first, let's talk about the new inflation data that just came out this week and how it relates to the money that folks on Social Security programs will be getting as of January. So the newest report out from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is the BLS, who is the government agency that, looks at these kinds of things, shows that for all items in the month of November 2022, which is the most recent information, the rate of inflation increased just slightly by a hamster's eyebrow of 0.1%. So the overall inflation rate from November 2021 to November 2022 was up a totality of 7.1%. which is good news for folks on Social Security, at least on face value. The reason for the decrease, according to the CPI report, has been a decrease in staples of life, like the cost of meat and poultry and fish and eggs, which went down 0.2%. And the biggest reason is energy. So things like gas that you put in your car went down 2%, or natural gas, like you'd use to heat your house, went down 3.5%. which brought the overall cost for Americans down much faster than those things that had the biggest increases, like rent and shelter, which were up by 0.8%, or fruits and vegetables, which were the highest increase at 1.4%. Now, the second number that came out in this report is the CPI-W, which is ultimately the more important number because it's the one that is going to dictate what the COLA likes in the future years. So let's think about 2024. Now, the upside news is that the CPI-W for this report came out to be 7.1%. So that means the cost for urban workers is in line with the standard of all things, quote unquote, all things inflation rate. Also, since this is what the COLA is based on, it means that if everything runs its course, that Social Security benefits will rise at the same rate as inflation for 2024. So they are riding along together at the same rate. But of course, as usual, this is not the whole story. This is because the CPI-W is the average cost of a basket of goods that are centered around the urban wage earner. That's what the W means. And again, it's also what the COLA is based off of. But if we look at the alternative measurement of inflation, one that specifically is designed to look at the lifestyles, daily costs, and expenditures of older Americans, aptly named the Consumer Price Index for Elderly Individuals, the CPI-E, we can see that that is actually at 7.2%. This CPI is similar to CPI-W for urban workers, except for it has some extra weighted expenses in it, like healthcare and medications, and a few other expenses that urban workers don't have to pay, but older Americans do have in their budgets that play outsized roles. So this means that older Americans actually right now are experiencing inflation at a slightly higher rate than most average Americans. So what does this mean for people on Social Security benefits right now? Well, at its current rate, it means that the COLA increase for 2023, which, if I may remind us all, is at 8.7%, is going to mean a significant increase in benefits over what the inflation rate actually is at the beginning of next year at 7.1%. Right now, the average Social Security check for 2023 is going to be at $1,685.37 a month. That's, of course, after that 8.7% increase. But if the COLA was to be taken right now at that 7.1%, it would have only been at $1,660.56, which means there is $24 additional in those benefits that are being added as of January over the cost of what inflation has actually gone up to, or 1.4% more. I think this is actually pretty good news, and it'll get better if inflation continues to reduce or even perhaps deflates a bit. Now, as long as it doesn't go up over that 8.7%, at least as far as spending power, Social Security beneficiaries will be in the green. And even if you think about it, they're actually going to get a better return than if they had put that money into the stock market right now, which is pretty bad at the moment. Now, I know it's kind of a ways off, but it's never really too soon to try to plan for the next COLA for 2024, which if we look at the last 3 months of CPI-W, if we were taking the COLA right now, it would actually only end up being at 7.83% rather than 8.7%, which to me means that if the inflation rate continues to drop, even if it is faster for the general public than it is for older Americans, the COLA is going to look lower for 2024 already. And if there is a decrease in inflation, in fact, a recession, we could be in for a normal size COLA for 2024, or even if there's deflation overall, it means that we could be in one of those rare years where folks get a 0% increase in 2024's COLA. So it's just something to keep an eye on and something to keep in mind. So looking at the near future and the mid futures, things, I think look pretty positive for folks on Social Security benefits. I know from my experiences with my grandmother how hard it can be to live on a fixed budget for someone who worked hard all their life and then bought into the system and was able to finally get some benefits out after they were too old to work, including her. And also to help out their snot-nosed grandson. So I know it's not easy, but in some ways in the near future, it is kind of looking up because benefits are getting raised higher than inflation. And inflation is not keeping up with the increased amount in the cost of gas, and the cost of some foods are still going down. Hell, even Medicare Part B went down this year. So those are all things that will make the benefits feel like they're actually more and make them go a little bit farther. But these windfalls, again, they are not permanent. They only last a year, and the COLA is recalculated every single year. Next year, things can catch up, and there will likely be a slowdown in the economy and perhaps even a recession, and lower increases in benefits if things stay at the same rate. Now, what that means overall for everybody, I'm still kind of rolling around in my head if that is ultimately better with lower inflation or worse for us all, but that's something we're going to have to wait and see. But for the next 12 months, seniors, retirees, and people on Social Security benefits like Social Security Retirement, Social Security Disability SSDI, Supplemental Security Income SSI, and Railroad and VA Retirement Benefits, they're all going to have a little bit more purchasing power and hopefully an opportunity to save some of that money for a rainy day. All right, so that's it for today's Michael's Matter, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, if you liked it, if you found it interesting, if you at least found it useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And that way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. So for Michael's Matters, I'm Michael, hoping that you take care of yourself, take care of others, and have a happy, healthy